All right, super. Guys, we will jump in. We're going to leave time for questions at the end. Excited to be with all of you. And listen, I'm most excited because I think we're going to help you grow the business really quickly. And so I'm going to move through this presentation, and I'll start with what the ultimate goal is in Sisel is how can we help you increase your recruiting, right? And there are lots of ways to do this, but here are a few. Like if it's more natural and comfortable for people on your team to tell the Sisel story, you're going to recruit more folks. Ultimately, our business is how many times does the story get told? If we make exposures fun and easy, if we can improve the quantity and the quality of the exposure, now that's an awfully big promise. And we can help you measure it. So when you're talking to somebody on your team and they're struggling, you can immediately see the quantity and the quality of their exposures, right? I think we've all had people at some time and another, and sometimes that person has been us, when we knew we were talking a good game, but maybe we weren't doing the level of activity that we should have been. And being able to have a scoreboard for ourselves and our team is powerful. So we're going to talk about all those things. I think you have to have a mobile-first strategy. It's great to have tools on websites, but when it comes to prospecting, a lot of people's prospecting happens when they're out and about, and they don't leave the house without a phone in their pocket. That's just a reality. They'll go back home and get it, but they don't tend to leave without it. And so you've got to have a mobile-first strategy. And Charlie, you can mute some of those lines too, just if somebody accidentally opens their line and they're getting some feedback there.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute everybody. Hopefully.
Okay, good.
There you go. Whoops.
On the technology side, there's a lot of cool technology in the world, and internet marketing is exploding, and they're leveraging this technology. Things like CRMs and capture pages, webinars, resource libraries, broadcast emails, accountability, things like Infusionsoft and ClickFunnels and all these different platforms. And these platforms range from $50 to $100 to $500 a month. And if you're a great internet marketer, you pay for 5 to 10 of these things and you try to make them talk to each other a little bit. And you're pretty tech savvy. And I don't think I need to tell you that doesn't work in network marketing. So on one hand, it would be awesome to use those tools. On the other hand, they don't work in network marketing. Why? Because you need to duplicate. The fundamentals of network marketing haven't changed. People have 7 to 12 hours a week part-time, and they're trying to make some money. Leadership's a big deal, being able to hold people accountable to the simple process. But our environment has changed. You can't hand them a VHS tape anymore, right? DVDs are done. I mean, I literally had somebody about 6-8 months ago, a leader, who said, yeah, we're still driving DVDs. And I'm like, man, you're not driving nothing. Because if you were, you would know nobody's got, 20% of people have a DVD player anymore, right? And if you were out prospecting, you would know those things aren't getting watched, particularly when you followed up with somebody. What is getting watched is a video. Almost 80% of videos that are 10 minutes less are being watched on a smartphone. And that's true whether you and I are doing it or not. Some of us are slow to that curve, but that's just a reality about society. So here's what we do. You go to the App Store if you haven't done this already. Just go to the App Store and type in Rapid Funnel on your iPhone or your Android phone. Type in Rapid Funnel. Download the app. You'll be asked for a group code. That group code is Sisel, okay? And there's a couple different aliases, so it's hard to mess up. Like if they capitalize S or it's a small s, which I'm assuming here it should probably be capitalized, but if it's a small s, then the reality is it'll still work, okay? And they will get a fully functional app, and they don't have to figure anything else out. I'm going to tell you about 8 different features that are built in, but they don't have to write campaigns or create capture pages or do any of that stuff that an internet marketer has to do. It's all done for them. All they got to do is focus on prospecting. Okay? And if you guys have questions, feel free to start typing them in the chat window, and Charlie can interrupt me and we can answer some of those questions as we go, so we don't leave you hanging until the very end, okay? And that's true even if you want to hit stars, or if you want to open your line real quick and ask me something, feel free.
Patrick, how do they open their line? I'm not certain on that.
They should be able to do it from their Zoom account. Just
gotcha.
Click the unmute button. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So 8 major components: a CRM, a resource library, email campaigns, capture pages, rewards, webinars, broadcast emails, and then analytics on all of it. So analytics, both from your perspective as the individual user, right? You want to be able to know, what are your prospects doing? Who are your hottest prospects? Who's watching videos? How many minutes are they watching, right? And then globally, Dr. Shaw wants to be able to look at it with some of the team and say, okay, which videos are actually working? What's converting? Where are people falling off the videos? Or where are they sticking, right? That's important information to know. Now, I think your personalized page is beautiful here. I love the colors, right? This is the home screen of your app. And there's a couple things before we dive in I just want to point out. The app will tell you the total number of exposures. So this particular sample, this person had 2,124 people that they have sent information to. They may have 5,000 people in the app, but they literally have sent 2,124 pieces of or information to 2,124 unique people. 35 this month and 8 this week. Now that tells you the quantity of their activity. So if Dr. Shaw comes to me and I'm a new recruit on his team, and I'm talking a good game, I'm like, hey man, I'm lighting it up. I'm working hard. I'm getting after it. I'm making it happen. I'm talking to everybody, Dr. Shaw, everybody. And he says, well, how many people are everybody exactly? I don't know, man. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of people. Like every day, it's a lot of people. And he goes, well, what is it? Can you give me a number? Well, I mean, it's like, I talked to this guy at the grocery store, and this one at the market, and this one. And he says, well, hey, let me take a look at your app. And he can see I have a 0 this week and a 0 this month, or I have 3 this month, and I'm on the 20th, 26th of this month, and I've talked to 3 people, and 1 this week. As Jim Rohn says, that's just not a good number. And it's certainly not everybody. And so it allows him to cut to the chase quickly. Right? Now, he still loves me. He's like, hey, no worries. We'll fix that. But the most important thing for us to do is increase the activity. Right? So it lets him get to the heart of the matter just like that. Now, here's another number, 73%. That percentage tells me, let's say I am doing the activity. I did talk to 35 people this month, and I have talked to 8 people this week. And that's not bad. Listen, one thing you're going to find out when you download this and your team is using it, for some of you, maybe that don't have as much experience in networking or haven't been around for a decade or 2, right? You're going to think these numbers are bigger than they are. And you're going to find out your team's numbers are a lot less than what you think they were. The good news is you're getting the same results you've been getting. It's just on a lot lower numbers than you thought were possible. What happens if you can start holding them accountable and improve the number? That's a game changer. And we're going to show you how we gamify rewards. Like you have incentives built in to help your team, right, really start making more exposures. At any rate, one more number I want to share with you, 73%. That's the number of prospects, unique prospects, who actually looked at something. So If I talk to 35 people, 2,100 total, 8 this week, 73% of the people lifetime that I've sent information to, they've clicked on something. What does this screen tell you about me? Can we agree? It tells you that I both am doing the quantity that's necessary and the quality of the exposure is good because people click on what I send them. I had a young lady who was so hungry. I'm in Atlanta. I'm doing a training on Rapid Funnel. I said, hey, who in this room has talked to more than 100 people? 200, 300, 400. Now, she had only been using the app for about 6 to 8 weeks, and she had 400 exposures in the system. So I asked her to come in front of the people, in front of the room. And I think she's going to tell this incredible story. And I'm fired up to have her tell the story, right? And I invite her up, and her name's Shakira. And I'm like, Shakira, how is it going? And she starts to cry right there in front of the room. And I'm like, hey, it's okay. What's happening? She's like, it's just not working. Now, she's talking about Rapid Funnel not working, right? And as a CEO, I'm like, oh, well, that's not good. Well, what part's not working? She goes, I'm just not getting any results. I say, no worries. Let me see your phone. Now, I figured in my mind that she just dumped 400 people in the system, sent them information, and never had a conversation with them. That won't work. This is not a cold market autoresponder, data dump, put in a bunch of names and do nothing. This platform augments the real behaviors that are necessary in network marketing. It's not a shortcut, right? It'll speed up and make more efficient and effective the things you already should be doing in networking. Okay, so anyway, I said, Shakira, how many of these people did you actually talk to? She says 400. I look at her phone, and sure enough, she has 400 people she's talked to, 400 people she has put into an email campaign, but her engagement rate, that's 73%, her engagement rate is below 7%. That means out of 400 people, 28 people total actually looked at something. Now, what do I know about Shakira? She is hungry. That's why she's up there crying. She's desperate to change her life. She was quiet. She's doing the thing, but she's getting after it. She's getting out of her comfort zone. What do I also know? She doesn't know how to make an exposure. So I said, Shakira, role play with me. Where do you meet these people? She's an Uber driver. I said, okay, I'm going to get in your Uber, and I want you to pretend I just get in. What exactly happens? What conversation do you have? What do we talk about? Tell me how that goes. I get in your Uber, and she literally pounds. She goes into her spiel immediately. She doesn't ask my name. She doesn't talk about how nice the weather is. And I'm like, no, Shakira, just like tell me what you actually say to somebody when they get in the Uber. She goes, that's what I say. I was like, you don't ask them how the weather, you don't talk about the weather or how nice they look or where they're going, nothing? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, we're going to fix that. And we talked about discovery as a window to a person's soul. Asking questions are a window. How to win friends and influence people, right? We talked about discovery, Sisel, invitation. We talked about all these different things of how she can prospect properly. She personally went to 73%, which is why I think we use that number in all our slides. But she literally went to 73%. That was her number. And she made $50,000 in the next 8 months. She was able to quit driving Uber, and she's qualified at one of the top levels in the company since then and maintained it for the last year, right? I am telling you, this is a flat-out game changer if you will use the platform. Not just tell people to download it, but literally use it as a training tool to build an organization. Don't just rely on the buttons and say download it and it's cool. It's a tool that will allow you to figure out who you should be working with, right? Now, if you put a contact in here and you put in their name, right, and you can list a 5-star rating. So as a matter of fact, I'll do something real quick. Oh, Charlie, did I, S-I-S-E-L.
Sisel at mailinator.com.
Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm actually going to pull over your app, and I want you to think about this, and I want you to think about it from two perspectives, both your perspective when you're out prospecting and when you sit down with a brand new recruit. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you were sitting down with a brand new recruit in Sisel, right? And you said, hey, listen, let's get rolling. We're going to download this app. It's completely free for 30 days. Let's download it, and let's talk to some people. Now, how many times has somebody said, you know, I really don't know very many people. I don't know who we would talk to. And you say, hey, no worries, don't worry about that. Let's download the app. Okay, we download the app. We go down here to the plus button. We hit the plus button. And when you hit that plus button, you go up here to the right-hand corner, and it's import. And that import button is literally going to tap into your new recruits' contact list in their iPhone or their Android. And now you literally start scrolling down names in their contact list, right? You're like, hey, who are these people? Who's this guy? Well, that's my brother. Who's this? Well, that's my friend. Well, who's this? And who's this? And it's tapped into the database, right? So now we pick 25 people, let's say. We hit the import button, and they drop into the phone, right? Now we've got a list of people to send information to. But let's take another approach. It's the 3-foot rule, right? I bump into Jane, and I hand Jane my phone, and I say, hey, Jane, listen, you seem like you really take care of yourself, and you're pretty health conscious. And Jane says, yeah, and she, you know, I'm with an incredible company, got some incredible products. I'd like to get you a little bit of information on one particular product, right? So I grab Jane's information. I put in her phone number, right? I put in her email address, and it's, let's just grab this. Now I have to put in a correct email address. If I don't, the system will not accept it, right? We pinged it already. So at any rate, so I go here, and now I say, well, is Jane, and I hit this plus button, and it's little things, guys, that matter. We don't want to I don't want to hand my phone to somebody and have them put their contact info in and see that I'm rating them. Like, are you a 1-star or 5-star person? But listen, I do want to rate folks. Are they hungry? Are they teachable? Are they motivated? Right? So I say Jane is a 5-star prospect. So I take the phone back. I hit the plus button. I say Jane's a 5-star prospect. I save the info. The next thing that pops up is, do I want to put Jane in an opportunity campaign? Yes, I want to put her in an opportunity campaign. So that's what I do. I put her in that campaign. And do I want to schedule a follow-up with Jane? Yeah, I want to schedule it for 4 or 5 days from now. So I do that. And then here's Jane. Here's her contact info. I go into the phone, and I want to send Jane a resource. So I put her in an email campaign already. I also want to send her a resource. Now, we have a resource library. We can put all of your resources in this library, from your personalized hub sites to opportunity videos to specific product videos. We can put all of that in here. So I go to Jane, and I want to send one of these resources. I click on Send Resource. We have capture pages, opportunity, and rapid funnel tutorials, okay? So let's say I go to a capture page, and I want to send this to Jane, and or maybe I'll send her something from opportunity. Let's check that out. Okay, we've got a few choices in opportunity, and I mean, I'll tell you my opinion quickly is I would figure out which one of these you guys like the best, and I'd whittle it down to 2 or 3 at the most. And why do I say that? Because I think a confused mind does nothing. I think if you give new recruits too many options, then they'll be confused, and they'll spend time trying to figure out which video should I send instead of just sending a video that works. Okay,
And
But
just so you
anyway,
guys know, Patrick, not to interrupt here, but just we've got a call next week with one of our teammates and Doug, and we're going to organize these a little bit differently to address just what you spoke about. So
that's great.
we'll even simplify it more.
That's great. And guys, I'm just coming from a perspective, and this isn't my business. This isn't what you have me here for. But after recruiting, an organization with 1 million people, I'm telling you, the one thing I know about networking is you better keep it simple. A confused mind does nothing. And if they can go here and they go, wow, there's training, there's a training category, there's an opportunity category, right? There's and you just keep it simple. And they go, oh, I'm looking for opportunity. Oh, I got an opportunity. Well, let's say the mower mission, right? And that's the video that's really working. I want to send it. I go over here, I hit text or email, and I click on that email, and I send that video. Boom, it's sent. That's simple. Now, what is the prospect going to see? They're going to see a video that's framed inside of your personalized hub site. Now, I want to slow down for a second. I want you to understand, you guys don't have to do anything. Just download the app and start prospecting. The videos are all mobile friendly. Now, this is an opportunity video. So if I click on an opportunity video and then I click the Learn More button, right? I'm a prospect. I watch this opportunity video. Then I click the Learn More button. I'm going to go directly to whoever sent it to me, I'm going to your personalized hub site. So I can sign up right there. And maybe at the end of that video, it says, hey, get started now by clicking the button below. Okay? All right. Any questions on this so far? I mean, we're covering a lot of ground.
So one question that came up, Patrick, is what about people who want to lead with the product? As I understand it, the age pill is a big product for you guys right now. I'm pretty sure that there's a resource in there about the age pill, so you could just send somebody the age pill video. And we will be, like earlier in the conversation before Patrick came on, we talked about how we can, this will be constantly updated. So we'll actually be introducing more and more product videos into the resources as we get going. We kind of, to be honest with you, we condense this into about a 5-day period to kind of be able to kick this off for the Memorial Day weekend for you guys. So it's not quite as robust as it might be, say in another week or so. So just keep that in mind and keep looking, and the resources are constantly being updated, and there'll be more campaigns coming as well.
So you'll end up, I'm pretty sure you'll end up with 4 categories here. It'll say marketing, product, training, and testimonies, right? Which is very simple. We all go, oh, I want to send somebody some marketing information, or I want to send them information about the product. So to answer that question, right, Charlie, you already did, but I would click product and I'd send a product video. And at the end of the product video would be a link to my personalized hub site, but for the product, not the opportunity. And all these are framed inside of your personalized page. So they're not going to YouTube, right? When they watch the mower video from Tom Mower, I get it now. When they watch that video, it's framed inside of your page. And when they click the Learn More button, it corresponds to what that page is. All right? So you've got all your contacts. You've got your hot prospect list. Now, we haven't talked about that, but we have a hot prospect algorithm that tells you exactly who the hottest prospects are, right? It measures it. Every 20 seconds of video, more than 90% of a Sisel video, if that gets watched, or an opportunity video, there's bonus points. So lots of different stuff. You can see an activity log. I want to look up a specific prospect, and I want to see what they watched. I want to see how many minutes of it they watched. And so I know exactly. I had a guy that told me 2 days ago, he recruited an NFL Hall of Famer, right? And this particular Hall of Famer, he likes networking, but he hates the idea that he's got to run around and beat people up all the time or follow up with them. That's how he perceives it. And so the fellow that recruited this Hall of Famer said, look, do you know how I prospected you? We had a quick conversation. I dropped you some information. You kept getting emails from me. You thought it was pretty cool. And now you're intrigued and you want to get started, but you're concerned about how you're going to build the business. Let me show you this app. And it was the Rapid Funnel app that helped this Hall of Famer make a decision to join the business, his business, because he said, I can do that. I can pull out my phone, which is a very normal activity. And I can go, hey, Charlie, let me get you a little information. I don't know if it'll be a fit or not, but I think you'll find it intriguing. And I can put Charlie into an email campaign, or I can send him a resource. And this Hall of Famer didn't have to be the expert, but he could leverage his credibility and his contacts, which is what we're all doing. We want to leverage our contacts and our credibility, but we don't want to be the person who should have all the answers. Let's leverage the tools to do that, but they have to be simple and effective. So, contact detail screen, you can see all of that from contacts. Activity log, reminders, your notes, your details. I can put somebody in an email campaign, and we might have all different kind of email campaigns here. This is how an email might look. They're very comfortable. They're very short and they're personal, but they're generic. Now, what's he talking about? He's like smoking something. They're personal and they're generic. What does that mean? It means, look, if I sent you an email, I said, hey, Charlie, great connecting with you. Here's a video about Sisel I wanted you to see. And I met Charlie, and he was driving an Uber, and I met him, and boom, that's what I did. He would go, oh, Charlie just sent me an email. And then 6 months later, I send Charlie another email that says, hey, Charlie, I was just thinking about you. Our company launched a new product for health conscious and thought you might find this interesting. That's it. The person's, I'm like, wow. You know, or Charlie's like, wow, that was nice. I can't believe that they're still following up with me. Now, we might only send them one email every 30 or 45 days, but you know what that relates to, that equates to? When you have a 99% delivery rate, a 32% open rate, guys, opt-in rate, that means 32% of the people across millions and millions of emails, 32% opt into the email campaign. Does it feel like an email campaign? No. Do you tell them I'm putting you in an email campaign? No. You say, hey, I'm going to send you a little information. And when they click on it, they're opted in. And then a 45% open rate across all emails. If you know anything about email delivery, and I told you 10%, you should say, wow, that's really good. You should say, I almost don't believe you at 45. Like that's, if you know anything about email delivery, you should be like, that doesn't even make sense. That's not possible. But it is possible because it's personal. Everybody wants to leverage social media and auto campaigns and all that, but the problem with them is they feel like an auto campaign. It's a company communicating to you. It's not personal. You can opt out and you don't care that much. But if you feel like Charlie's emailing you and he thought enough of you to send you a quick little email, it's not long copy, it's not any of that, you open those emails. Okay, and what happens? Well, if you do 2 exposures a day, and you did 2 exposures every day for 5 days a week, and you did it for 50 weeks, Jenny, I promise I'm going to give you these slides and the whole presentation. Jenny's over there. She's excited. She's shooting a picture of every one, Charlie. Hi, Jenny. Is it Jeannie or Jenny? Okay. So 50 weeks, 500 exposures, 14 emails. That's 7,000 touch points. That's 7,000 emails that went out. And let me ask you a question. If you prospect 500 people in 2017, let's say you did that. How many of those people are you really going to talk to in 2018, honestly? If they didn't join, buy, what percentage of those people did you really follow up with? Can we all agree that it's like 1%, 2%? It's not much. Well, if they're in Rapid Funnel, you're building a database and you're following up with all of them. Every single one you put in an email campaign. What if you had 5 people? Option number 2, you get 5 people on your team to do that same thing. That's 2,500 exposures. That's 2,000 emails that went out with you and 4 people. This is a game changer. We will also tell you when your prospects click on the links, but just as importantly, if you're the training partner, so let's say Dr. Shaw recruits me, we sit down, we download the app, he taps into my contact list, I send 25 people during the game plan interview a text that says, hey, I'm starting a business, I'm excited, if I sent you something, would you look at it? And 17 of them respond back, yes. I send 17 of those people a resource and put them in an email campaign. 12 of them drop into the email campaign the first hour I get started in the business. 12 people times 14 emails. I can't do that math in my head. Get the idea, okay? That's leverage. But Dr. Shaw put himself in as my training partner. So when those people respond, he knows. So he calls me up and goes, Patrick, did you follow up with Charlie? And I go, no, Dr. Shaw, I didn't follow up with him because I didn't know what to say. No worries. Let's call him right now together. You see, he's not afraid of calling people, but I am. And I'm brand new. And I'm just like 85% of the people that ever join a network marketing company and ever join Sisel, right? If I had somebody that could look over my shoulder and hold my hand just a little, especially if they knew I was doing the activity. I never minded holding people's hand as long as they were doing the activity. The one that killed me was to hold their hand and they just weren't doing the work, right? But I never knew before. Now you know. Okay, weekly stats update. Every day, like a Fitbit, we tell you how many people had entered, how many put in a campaign, how many resources sent out. I told you the engagement rate. We'll tell you exactly what percentage are actually clicking on videos. This tells you the quality of the exposures. You want to read a great book, The 4 Disciplines of Execution. In network marketing, like a lot of sales, I know this isn't sales, it's more about exposures, but bottom line is, look, we should focus on what's wildly important, and we should focus on the lead measure. And the lead measure here is prospecting and follow-up. You should have a compelling scorecard and create a cadence of accountability. What does a compelling scorecard mean? It means that I can look at the app, I can tap on the, my phone died, Charlie.
Oh.
I can tap on the app and I can see exactly what my scorecard is. I mean, can you imagine watching an NFL or Super Bowl game or something and they said, well, we're going to play this game differently. If you win or lose, you get no recognition. There are no winners and losers in this game, in the Super Bowl, and we're not going to have a scoreboard, right? Can we agree that would be a pretty boring game? Can we agree that people would not try very hard? Like if you took all the guys in the Super Bowl and said, hey, this year we're going to do it different. You're not playing for anything that matters. We're not going to pay you more money. You don't get to claim the title, right? We're just going to play, and we're going to call it good. What in the world would that game look like? We need a scoreboard based on the lead measure, right? And the lead measure is prospecting and follow-up. And we need to have a cadence of accountability. We need to be able to hold people accountable to some basic activities. So we have a rewards and a gamification feature, right? You can literally create a reward. Now, you guys have one right now. I can't show the screen, Charlie.
Yeah, I can go ahead and tell you it's for the new launch that we've got going. What we're going to do is the person that enters the most contacts during the month of June going to win $150, and the runner-up's going to get $50. So this is a great opportunity to put some extra cash in your pocket, and this is a great weekend to go out and go ahead and get started, because every contact that engages or clicks on a video and watches something that you sent to them, you get a point for that. And whoever gets the most points, just like Patrick's talking about it, the scoreboard, at the end of the month, they're going to win some extra cash. Now, the only disclaimer or qualification I'm going to throw in there is that the person who wins, everybody has to, there's a criteria of you got to enter at least 20 contacts. Okay. So above 20 contacts, which I'm sure that's not going to be a problem for you guys because you got a ton of time to be able get out there and do that. So there is a contest in there. It's called Launch Big, Win Big.
Awesome, Charlie. So that's exciting, guys. And know this about rewards is to be recognized in a reward, you have to prospect somebody unique. You have to send them something, and they have to respond. All three criteria are necessary. So you're only rewarding people that are making real exposures. Isn't that incredible? And so now you can take a screenshot of this. Now, if you don't know how to take a screenshot on your phone, soon we're going to have a button on there, and literally that button will allow you to share the screen. That's a scoreboard, and it's a cadence of accountability. Post it on Facebook and say, hey, I'm committed to achieving this reward this month. Who's running with me? The lead measure is how things get done. I mean, in network marketing, we can often get so confused about what actually matters. And we talk about 42 billion things. And look, educating ourselves on the product is important. Shining our shoes matter, right? Dressing appropriately, how to win friends and influence people, committing to personal development. Thousands of things matter in this business. But I can tell you one, nothing happens if you don't participate in the lead measure. You can get away with missing some of the others. You cannot get away with not talking to people. And that's the thing you want to measure in this business out of the gate. So I already talked to you about personalized pages. We have capture pages. They're built for you. You don't have to figure anything out. All you got to do is send them out. Your prospect clicks on that capture page. They watch a video. They put their info in. You get notified. The name drops into your CRM. You get points in the hottest prospect algorithm. And now you know how many minutes of the Sisel video they watched on the capture page. And you can go from a capture page to a webinar and know how many minutes of the video the prospect watched in the webinar. I mean, I had somebody once tell me if everybody who was a hot prospect would just leave the house with a blue hat on, then I could just walk around and I could only talk to people with blue hats. But people don't do that. It was a joke. It was an allegory, I think, to tell people, look, you have to talk to everybody. Literally now we'll tell you who has the blue hat, who is clicking on information and watching. And it might be somebody you prospected a year and a half ago. If I've heard this story one time, I've heard 1,000 times. I don't even remember prospecting them, but I put them in the app. They became a hot prospect and they got started. We have instant and scheduled webinars. There's a countdown clock there.